Okay, so this guy dropped off this deck. It's all cracked up over here. And a lot of times when I get work like this, a lot of people tell me, well, can you just put some weld on it real quick for me? No, we don't do that here, okay? I don't like doing things like that. It always comes back. I always look like the asshole, and I tell them it's not gonna last. So I'm gonna show you how we do it here and why we do it and the steps that we gotta do step by step to get this thing done right so it doesn't come back again and we have a happy customer when this is all said and done. So right over here, first thing we got going on. This thing held in the blades right here. It's all cracked. We got a lot of crack going around this. So the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna clean up this material, okay? What I'm gonna grab, this thing is absolutely cracked all over the place, okay? And when you're welding up cracks, you just don't weld a crack because it's just gonna appear back. That's just how it works. Okay, so what you gotta do, you gotta get yourself a drill bit. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna trace back where the crack stopped, right over there. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna get your drill, you're gonna come right in. We're gonna drill right there. We're gonna trace back to that one, drill right in. And what this is doing, when I go to weld this thing back up, it's gonna stop this crack from growing back up again. This thing has a lot of vibration on it. So if I was to just weld this thing up, it might last for a long time, but this is gonna guarantee me that this crack does not start again. So I'm gonna chase all these cracks back around and I'm gonna drill all my holes. So I got all my cracks all chased, okay? And it's real important that you do this. You just don't want to go welding on cracks because you 9 times out of 10, they're gonna come back, especially if it's on a piece of equipment that runs a lot, high vibrations, and that's the worst thing for any weld is high vibrations. So we got that all finished. Now what we're gonna do, this stuff is all kind of bowed out. If you look over here, these are kind of flat. So I'm gonna do my best job to make this kind of flat again, just like it is over there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my torch. And I'm gonna start working this metal. So I'm gonna get this stuff nice and hot. And the plus side of working all this metal first with heat, it's gonna get all my metal nice and clean when it's time to weld this thing. I'm gonna burn out any paint that I got in, any grease. It's gonna get rid of all that stuff. So I'm gonna work all this back down. And it's important too when you're heating up metal and you're working with metal, heat it up, get it nice and warm. It's going to be a lot easier to work this way. Give it some time, let that metal warm up all the way around the area before you just start beating the crap out of it with a hammer. Because odds are if you're going to do that, you're just going to crack it in more places, okay? Metal likes to get worked when it's warm, when it's not cold. Otherwise, there's a larger chance of you putting bigger cracks in your metal. So over here, I'm just going to come over here, get all that nice and warm, and then, you know, okay, over here, this thing comes in this way. What I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to flip this thing over, and I gotta work this thing out. You don't need a hammer like this. You can use any hammer you want. This is just a body hammer. trying to get all these cracks to line up. I just have to work this side down a little bit. So, we're all pretty good. Looks like I got to work this down a little bit more to match that side. And like I said, it's just taking your time. You don't want to come up to this thing. If you just start wailing the shit out of it with the hammer, you're not going to get anywhere. Just take your time and be patient. I'm guilty of it. I break the shit with hammers all the time, but you know, when I remember, nice, even, and slow. And you're going to have a lot better of a process doing all this stuff. So right over here, I'm just going to try to work that metal down. I'm going to try to work in that crack. It all work together. All right, so we're just about there. Okay, I like that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to clean up my material, okay? The nice thing about working like this, when your metal's nice and hot, you're going to get nice welds that get a lot of penetration when I go through because metal's already super warm. And I'm going to come over here with my buff wheel and I'm going to get all this metal nice and clean. The stronger the weld's gonna be. So now it's time to do some welding. What I'm gonna do, this metal's thin, it's hot, it's all cracked up. So when I do something like this, for me, you want to weld this stuff nice and slow. You ain't got to get crazy. You ain't got to get all wild with it and throw a bunch of big beads on it all at once, because odds are you're just going to warp it even worse than it already is. This jacking is way too big. I'm going to get my ground down. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start tacking this stuff up. See if any more cracks popped up. So now what I gotta do, I gotta make myself a little piece that got lost right here. So situation like that. A little piece of strip here. Just like that. And what I'm gonna do, so instead of making a piece that's gonna fit right into this, like over here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut this piece out a little bit to make it easier for me to do my job, you know? So I'm gonna come in with the cutoff wheel, and I'm gonna square this thing up a little bit, okay? And it's just easier that way for me. You know what I mean? Some people, they wanna trace it out or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. What I like doing is grabbing some metal, instead of trying to make some goofy shape like that, come over here, grab the cutoff wheel, come on down, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make it easy to cut out shape. So a nice little square. Grab one of my keys. And remake that shape. Like I said, I like doing it that way, but you don't have to. Just a piece of metal, no big deal. And boom, right there. It has a little gap in it, but I'm gonna fill that up, and it's gonna be really good weld. Over here, I'm gonna get this thing tacked in place. I'm gonna hold it where it needs to go. Right about there, it looks like. And I'm just gonna back it in. Is 10 times easier than trying to work with some little piece and try to make a perfect fit. And if you noticed, I didn't weld it up right there for a reason, because I wanted to know where my hole was going to go. So that's just giving me an idea of where I got to replace all my holes, because I'm going to drill all this stuff out for this guy once I get this done. Got it all ground down. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my buffing wheel to it, do it once over. Looking at this saying, oh man, he's grinding line. You don't have to do all that stuff to the bottom of the deck. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you kind of do. Because what I'm doing when I'm doing all this, I'm not just grinding it down to make it look good. I'm grinding it down to inspect for more cracks. And that's what's going to cause this thing to fail. That's what's going to cause this guy to come back and get pissed off and thinking I did a bad job. So that's what I'm doing right now with all this grinding. I'm inspecting for cracks. Like right there, I found another one. Right there, I found another one. You know, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm grinding it down, making it look all pretty, making sure there's no more cracks left on this thing. So again, get my drill. I'm gonna come right over here. It's pretty good. Put a little bit of meat around where the holes go. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. And if you didn't grind all this stuff down the first time and you just kind of left it like crap, I wouldn't have found that crack. And for all you know, that crack could have caused all this stuff to happen again. Your bolts getting loose, and you know, who knows? You know, blade flying off, chopping somebody's leg off. I don't know. But the thing is, though, it's important to take these steps when you're doing a job like this. These things are spinning around real fast, and you want to do a good job for somebody. Non-important. Oh, just do a quick job. No, it doesn't work that way when you're working with something. All you're going to do is piss people off because they're going to think you did a crap job. So now what I'm going to do, the inside of it looks good, it looks strong, it looks tough. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this side. So over here, look at that. Holy crap. All that. So we're just going to repeat the steps again. We come in. Nice, it's looking real pretty. Everything looks nice and clean. And what's next? I'm gonna grab my drill, gonna put a step-up bit on it, open up these holes just a little bit in case anything changed, and then we're gonna hit it with some primer. If you don't have them, get them. When you're opening up holes, it just makes life easier. When you got a drill, you go big to little, and just there. Flip this thing back over. This side, make sure we ain't got nothing bad going on. Everything looks pretty good. Alright, so this is primer, metal. Okay, you just don't want to paint over this stuff. Whenever you're done working on a nice clean piece of metal and everything like that, especially somewhere where it's going to sit, grass is going to get on, it's going to get wet, it's going to get dirty. You just don't want to paint over it. So all you're doing when you paint over a piece of metal, you're just putting a big plastic bag over it for metal, for water and moisture to get trapped in. You want to hit it with a primer, or like what this is, a primer sealer. I like using Rust-Oleum, this stuff right here. And all I'm going to do, paint my entire area. Metal, if you need something fixed, whatever it is, lawnmowers, trailers, you name it, or if you want some custom stuff built, please give us a call, 708-829-6600. 888-888-6734 or check out the YouTube channel Armin Metalwork for more cool stuff.